Here's 3 Hollywood physiques you should never use as your personal fitness goals. Look, we all want to look like superheroes. Maybe you got a photo of Thor saved on your phone, or you're watching Reacher beat the crap out of people thinking, man, if I just train hard enough, that could be me. But today I'm going to tell you why chasing these Hollywood physiques is actually setting you up for failure. We're talking about 3 specific actors whose bodies are literally impossible for the average guy like you and me to achieve. Whether you're just starting your fitness journey or you've been at it for years, we all need realistic goals. And if you're like me, 5'9" and a bit with what my doctor calls average genetics, ouch. These 3 Hollywood transformations are anything but realistic. Stick around to the end because the last example shows exactly why even what you see on screen isn't always what you think it is. Let's start with Alan Ritchson from Reacher. Now, I love this show, but we need to talk about this guy's genetics because they are absolutely bonkers. Back in 2010, when he played Thad Castle in Blue Mountain State, he was already a genetic freak, effortlessly bigger and more muscular than everyone else on screen without even trying that hard. But here's where it gets wild. Between Blue Mountain State and Reacher, we're talking like a decade later, he packed on an additional 30 pounds of muscle. So he's already looking superhuman, right? Well, then he casually drops that he started TRT between seasons 1 and 2 of Reacher. So all that initial mass he put on before Reacher started, well, that was allegedly before any pharmaceutical help. Look, TRT is totally legal, so I'm not knocking him for that. But with somebody with god-tier genetics like Ritchson has, gets on TRT, well, they're playing a completely different ballgame than the rest of us. Next up is probably the most obvious example, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now, The Rock actually has decent genetics to start with, but let's look at the facts here. During his wrestling days, he was around 260 to 270 pounds, but with a much higher body fat percentage. Fast forward to today at 52 years old, and here's where it gets, well, interesting. He's maintained or even gained muscle mass while getting significantly leaner. For anyone who understands how hormones work, this should set off alarm bells. See, when you're in your 50s, your natural testosterone levels have been declining for years, pretty much since your mid-30s. That's just biology. Getting leaner while maintaining muscle is hard enough even in your 20s, but adding muscle like The Rock has while getting shredded in your 50s, well, that's not just chicken, rice, and hard work talking. And look, I'm not here to criticize the guy's work ethic. Well, I mean, he clearly busts his ass in the gym or whatever. But here's what actually bothers me. The constant hardest worker in the room messaging while completely ignoring the elephant in the room. Well, when you're posting those 4 a.m. workout videos and telling people it's all about the grind and eating clean.
Just wrap that 4 a.m. cardio. There's no substitute for hard work here.
You know, you're selling a fantasy. Because let's be real about what we're seeing. When someone's body composition is improving with age instead of fighting the natural aging process, well, there's more going on than just early mornings and meal prep. The science is clear. You don't magically start winning the battle against hormonal decline in your 50s without some serious pharmaceutical assistance. Allegedly. Older guys looking up to The Rock deserve to know that no amount of clanging and banging at 4 a.m. is going to get them looking like that at their age. Being the hardest worker in the room is great, but let's stop pretending that's the whole story. A little honesty would go a long way here. Last up is Chris Hemsworth, specifically from the latest Thor movie, Love and Thunder. And now look, there's been a lot of debate in the fitness community about this one, and while we can't know for sure what's digital and what's not, even the skeptics admit some scenes look a bit too perfect. There's no doubt Hemsworth is huge, but side-by-side comparisons between the behind-the-scenes footage and the final movie show, well, a bit of a difference. Not to mention they're already tracking every square inch of his upper body to digitally map his Thor suit onto it, so it's totally reasonable to assume they've pumped up his physique a bit at the same time. And hey, if you don't believe me about Hollywood's enhancement game, just remember Hemsworth's prosthetic scene from Vacation. That was not all him, and even he admits that. So if they'll enhance that area for a comedy, what do you think they're willing to do for a superhero franchise where his whole brand is built on looking superhuman? The point is, you're not just potentially chasing a physique built with elite genetics and possible PED use. You might be chasing pixels. We're talking about a physique that literally doesn't exist in the real world no matter what supplements you take or how hard you train, at least for us average genetics dudes. So what should you do instead? Well, set realistic goals based on your own starting point. For someone like me with average genetics, that might mean getting to 12% body fat while maintaining muscle mass. It might mean focusing on performance goals rather than just aesthetics. Remember, and this is crucial, your fitness journey is about becoming the best version of yourself, not trying to replicate someone else's heavily enhanced or digitally altered physique. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're up to almost 600 subscribers, which I very much appreciate. And we've had one video, I think, closing in on 20,000 views, which is quite remarkable given how small this channel is. Thanks so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.